Episode, you need to learn some file storage with Google Drive.
Mosca, Mickey! Mosca, Mosca! Mosca, Mosca!
Alright, let's get this going. We got 4 objectives here. The first one is cloud storage. What is it? Just a little bit about it. I'm not going to spend too much time in the actual class. We'll spend a little bit more. But that is the first objective, is to understand what cloud storage is. Second one, out with the old. We're going to clean this Google Drive up. I'm sure it's a mess from previous years. If it's not, congrats to you. But for the most part, most students, it's a little bit messy. Third objective, in with the new. So we're going to create things to organize them and make this work not just for my class but for all classes. So this should work out pretty smoothly. And then the fourth objective is make it look cool, make it your own. You can play around with it and learn some different things online, but the main thing is to try to keep things organized, to make it look good. Got a little bit of a time limit here, so I'm going to try to go fast. If you feel like you need to pause it as I go through, please feel free. So the first part, what is cloud storage? Well, you think about cloud storage, you think of something that's invisible, but it's not. There are servers in place somewhere. Somebody's got a server farm with thousands and thousands of servers. Things are saved on there, and that can quickly be accessed at any point. It used to be back in the day, if you talk to your teachers, they may have used thumb drives, floppy disks, something like that, to save their information. And if you lost it or you accidentally left it in a PC, you would kind of be hosed on an assignment. So if you think about the amount of work that goes into like a college class, it could all be gone. So cloud storage definitely has its benefits, and we are all pretty much using it. So the second objective, out with the old. We're going to learn how to clean some things up. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is Joey's, let's call it. It's just a Google Drive I set up. There's really not too much stuff in here. For most of you guys, you'll probably have anywhere from 100 items to maybe 1,000 if you haven't kept things clean. If you notice, you'll see untitled documents. Sometimes they'll be named, but you might want to go in there and just double check and make sure, is that something you want to keep or something that you don't care about. If you notice on this guy, I'm going to X out of him because that is worthless. We don't need that. So you can drag this to the trash can. Try that again. Try it a third time. And double click because for whatever reason I'm not able to grab it. I've got 2 other items in here. If you notice, that might be useful, maybe not. Let's just hang on to it for now. Exit out of that one. This one, open it up, look at it. So next one, if we take a look here, I've got something from 8th grade. Okay, well maybe this is something that I want to keep, so I need to get a folder for that. So I'm going to X out of it now. And we're going to go in here and we're going to start our next objective. So the second one was out with the old. This third one is in with the new. We're going to start to bring in folders. I like to name them, give them like a generic term or a broad term, and then be more specific as we dive into the folders. So this is going to be something that's useful for all your classes. I understand most of the people that I have in this class are freshmen, and there are some people that are older, so bear with me if you are a little bit older. But we're going to create a folder for 8th grade year and call it 2019-2020, and we are going to drag and drop these guys in here. So if you can imagine how much time that would take if you had hundreds of them and organize them. You want to organize them into classes. So if you wanted to, you could go through. I opened up that folder, and we're going to create mini folders. We're going to call this one 8th grade math, and we're going to create another folder called 8th grade social studies. You can continue this for time. I'm not going to do this with all of them. And you create these folders, and maybe this one should have been in here. This guy goes to social studies. But we are not in 2019-2020. We are in a brand new school year, so let's create a new folder. Let's create a new folder. So I went over to New on the left-hand side. Click on Folder. And we will name this one 2020-21. Alright, so first thing I want to do, you could get really specific with this, so I'm going to click on that New button, click on Folder, And we're going to call this, because this year is kind of weird, we're going to call it first quarter. So that'll keep track of all your first quarter. Now if you decide you wanted to put just these 4 classes in there, maybe you want to do the entire semester. Let's delete this folder and go back in here. We're going to create a new folder, just called it first semester. Oh, done something incorrect here. Let's do that again. New folder, and we'll call it first semester. So we could have another one of these for second semester. And then in that first semester, we're going to open it up. I'm going to create some different classes that you might have. The first one being Spanish. Second one, you got to have some math in your life, maybe a science class. And then we're going to look at my freshman level class, CSE. So I've got these 4 different folders. From there I could start creating and breaking these down into smaller folders. I know with our class we use different units that we have, Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, so I could create a bunch of these and keep going with it. And there's Unit 3, forget to. I like to put these in all caps for some reason. Normally I wouldn't be screaming at you like that, but let's take a look at Unit 1. Well, inside Unit 1 we have different sections. We've got a 1.1 section, so we're just going to call that 1.1, create it, and I could keep going with 1.2 and 1.3 and 1.4 and doing all those, but we're just going to leave it at these 2. Alright, so this is how you start to get organized. So if you go to My Drive and say you create one of our assignments, and just make one up, and let's say this is the very first assignment, and we'll just call it 1.1.1, and you put some stuff in there, more stuff. And what do we do with that? Well, there's a couple different ways. We could go to File, Move, and we can move this into the correct folder. So I could pick 2021, go to the next one, first semester, keep everything nice and neat, CSE 1, and this is 1.11, so this will go in that folder. Click Move here. Now that's been moved. That's one way to do it. Let's say though, let's close this down. Let's say we're not looking at it from the actual document, that we're over here. So let's go back out to where we were first semester, CSE, Unit 1, 1.1. Let's say that I put this in the wrong folder. So what I can do with that, let's just drag it over here and put it in the original My Drive. So if you notice it's down here, let's say if we put it in the wrong spot, you can actually just drag and drop these. Maybe it's not as quick, but it'll get you there. And there actually is a way over here on the left side, there's an arrow. Don't know if you can see that with my screen, but if you go to the left side, there's an arrow. Click on first semester, you actually use that drop down, and you could have dragged and dropped each item in there. But if you remember, we have that guy hidden. I don't know where I put him now. There he is. So if we wanted to, we could go ahead and keep dropping this down on the left side. You see I'm clicking on those arrows, and then drag and drop it. That's another way to do it. I'll probably do it the first way. So this gets us started. We're going to continue to talk about this, but make sure that you give names that are appropriate, that mean something to you. You can star folders if you'd like. If you decide you want to star a folder, maybe this is the one we're using all the time, is we're using 1.1. So I can come over to this, and there's an option to star it. So in order to start, I'll go to the folder that I want. I'm going to click on, I believe it's this down arrow, yes, and add to star. Now I'm still keeping things organized, but I know right now I'm in 1.1, and that's a folder that I'm using all the time. So I don't have to go digging through to find the correct spot where that folder is. And you can just go to Start, and you can do that for all your classes and have them listed out. You can also look at Recent. That'll show you what you need. Trash, what you may have accidentally thrown away. Tells you how much storage you have. It's nice to be able to quickly save what you need, especially in our class. Alright, so let's look at our fourth and final objective. Make it look cool, make it your own. So if we come over here, like those are two gray folders, nice. But what if I want to change the color of them? I don't like the way it looks. You can change that one to red. Right click. Go down to change color. Green, Christmas colors. And then maybe I decide if I open this up. Okay, I got these folders, but they're not in the right order. By the way, you can come over here and click on list. Maybe they're not in the right order. Maybe this is your fourth class of the day and that's your first. So what you can do is rename these. I'm going to right click again, rename them, and this is going to be, let's say, my 4A class. I just put in a 4. And this is the third class I go to. Rename it. Put 3 in front of it. And let's say Spanish is my first class. So I'm just adding a number. So if you don't like that it alphabetizes it, there's another way to get around that. And you can organize these. You can do this for your A1 day and your A2 day. You got a lot going on, so this organization piece is going to be huge for you. So we're going to put a 2 in front of this, and it should organize everything. So we can change the colors, we can make it look cool. You can decide you really like Spanish and your favorite color is blue or red or whatever it is. Math, you know, maybe that's your gold class, you like that. CSE, my class, whatever that represents, you can change the color. There's all kinds of different things you can do with it, but to make it your own, that's what you're looking at. So we went over 4 objectives. What is cloud storage? If you remember that, out with the old, in with the new, and make it your own so it can look cool and make it just different than everybody else and something that works for you. So you can do this. You can keep things super clean and organized. I know it's going to be very important in our class to kind of keep things organized with all your assignments, and it's going to be like this everywhere. So if there's any questions, you guys know where to find me. You need to email me, anything like that, please do that. And that's all I got for file storage.
Mosca, Mickey